So in the previous session, we have discussed about user management, and we have discussed how can we create new users into my Salesforce arc. And once the users has been added, how can we modify the user details we have discussed. And we have discussed how can we reset the users passwords. If the user is unable to log into my Salesforce arc because of multiple invalid login attempts, how can we reset the user's passwords? We have discussed. And we have discussed how can we prevent the user from logging to my Salesforce arc by using deactivation and the freeze. Then how can we deactivate the user and how to reactivate, how to freeze, how to unfreeze the users. Okay, we have discussed in the previous session. Okay, now. So let's come to one more small scenario, login access policies. Okay, login access policies. Then what do you mean by login access policies? Now let's see. Let me explain the scenario. For example, I'm having my Salesforce arc. Now, assume that I'm having my Salesforce arc. In my Salesforce arc, we have 5 users. All the 5 users are developers. So we have 5 developers like Ramesh, Praveen, Kishore, Sanjeev, and the Swati. These are the 5 developers. So from these 5 developers, Ramesh is our technical lead. Remaining 4 members are team members. So now these 4 members are reporting to Ramesh. So recently, Ramesh went to on-site. He went to the client location. He is working from the client location. Now the remaining 4 members are working from ODC center from Hyderabad. So now they are working in on-site offshore model. So now one person is working from on-site, remaining members are working from offshore. Now let's see. Come to the scenario. For example, assume that Kishore, for example. So now since last 2 years, I'm working on this project. Every day we are working on few new features. We are building the new functionalities we are delivering to the client. Now, since today morning, when I press a button in my application, it is showing very big error message. But I don't know why. Till yesterday night, application is working very fine, no issues. But since today morning, on my user interface, when I click on a button control, it is showing very big error message. It is a showstopper to me, it's a blocker to me. So now generally when I click on this button control, I have to go to the next screen. On that screen, I'm building some more new features. But it is not allowing me to go to the next page. When I click on this button control, it is showing very big error message. I'm unable to figure it out what exactly the problem. I'm unable to find out the root cause also. So in this case here, I tried a lot. I have verified in the Google also, but I'm unable to find out the solution, but no luck. And finally, I have contacted my colleagues also. In my team, we have 3 more members are there, Praveen, Sanjeev, and the Swati. These 3 people are also trying to fix the problem, but we are unable to figure it out what exactly the issue. Now, so in this case, what we can do? Finally, I have contacted my technical lead. That means he is the most senior guy in the team. So I have contacted Ramesh. I have explained my situation. Dear Ramesh, since today morning, this is a problem. It's a showstopper to me. It's a blocker to me that it is not allowing me to go to the next screen to work on the today's task. So upon click on this button control, it is showing very big error message. So could you please help me out to fix this problem? So now Ramesh is agreed with that. Ramesh is ready to okay help me out. So in this case, how can we show my screen to Ramesh? He is from US, I am from Hyderabad. How can we show my screen to Ramesh to explain the situation, to explain the issue?
Administrators, we can tell our password and the email ID username.
Okay. Now, in this case, generally what we can do, we can use some screen sharing applications. Like we are using GoToMeeting and we are using WebEx also, Zoom also, or we are having the Team Viewer, okay, AnyDesk. Like that, so many applications are available which are used to share our screen to the other people. So just we can able to okay open the screen, the other people can monitor my screen also that we can use this. But currently, we are working for a banking client. Whenever we are working on banking projects, financial projects, insurance projects, pharmaceutical projects, in that case, you will be having very strict network. That means restricted network. So no, you can't install these kind of GoToMeeting and then Zoom. This kind of things will not be allowed because the applications are very, very confidential. These are sensitive data. They're dealing with money. So in this case here, we are having separate network. Our cubicles are separate. Our access cards are separate. Even though smartphones are also not allowed into our premises. We need to hand over the smartphones to security people. We have to make an entry in the register. Whenever we are coming out from the office, we can able to collect the mobile from the security people. Because of that, okay, security applications and the confidential data, they will even won't allow those smartphones also. Only basic model of mobiles are allowed. So now in this kind of situation, how can we explain the problem? Now, in that case, we can't use Zoom, we can't use GoToMeeting, we can't use WebEx, we can't use any other tool. Now, in that case, there is an option, just now she has explained that instead of using this kind of tool, just I can share my account credentials to Ramesh. Because Salesforce is purely a cloud-based application, so we can access the application from any place in the world just by using your credentials. So I want to share my credentials to Ramesh, my username and the password. With that credentials, Ramesh can log in into my account from US and he can look into the issue, he can troubleshoot the issue, he can find out the root cause, he can fix the problem also. But in this case, as part of my company ethics, we can't share our credentials to anybody else. So now, as per our company ethics, we can't share our system credentials or our account credentials to anybody else. Even though he is our company CEO also, we can't share. Then in this kind of situation, what can I do? Now, in this case here, whenever if any of the user is facing some problem with the account or with the application, then as an administrator, I can jump into the user account without knowing his credentials. Without knowing the user's credentials, as an administrator, I can jump into the user account, I can log in into his account, I can troubleshoot the issues, I can fix the problem also. Because as an organic administrator, I'm having the full rights. Okay, I'm the administrator of that organization. I'm controlling the complete visibility. So in this case, as a owner of the organization, I have the rights that I can log in into any user account also. For that one, Salesforce has given a feature called as login access policies. By using login access policies, administrator can log in into your Salesforce account directly without knowing your credentials also. Now, in this case here, now in this case, here there are two situations will come into the picture. So till yesterday night, application is working very fine. Since today morning only, the application is giving some issue. So now this issue may be because of two possible reasons. First one, it may be because of our application code also. Maybe yesterday night somebody modified some code because of that it is causing some issue. Or else, okay, or else, this may be because of new release of Salesforce. Yesterday night, Salesforce has given a new release night at 10:30 p.m. IST. Till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I was in office yesterday. So not till that time application was worked very fine. But since today morning only I'm facing this issue. Yesterday night at 10:30 p.m. IST, Salesforce has given a new release. Because of that new release, my application features are affecting. Now, these are the two possible reasons. Okay, the problem will be because of our code or maybe because of Salesforce new release features. Suppose if the problem is because of our code, then we are responsible. We need to fix this issue. If the problem is because of Salesforce new release features, who need to fix that issue? Salesforce.com support team. Okay, it's not our problem. Our application is working very fine. Because of Salesforce new release features, okay, one of my application feature is affecting. In this case, Salesforce.com support team people are responsible to fix that problem. In this case, as part of login access policies, Salesforce has given the permission to the two people they can log in into your account without knowing your credentials. First one, your Salesforce administrator. Second one, Salesforce.com support team. Only these two people are having the rights. If the problem is because of your code, then your Salesforce administrator can log in into your account without knowing your credentials and he can fix that issue. Suppose if the problem is because of Salesforce new release features, then Salesforce.com support team will log in into your account without knowing your credentials and they can fix your problem also. So in this case, login access policy will be giving the provision to two people to log in into your Salesforce account, not to your client, not to your project manager, not to anybody, only for two people, only Salesforce.com support team and the Salesforce administrator, only these two people. Okay. Now, in that case, how can we enable this login access policies? Now, let me show you with practical. Let's go to your Salesforce arc. I'm going to the users first. Now these are the user details are available. Let me take a screenshot of this one. These are the user details. Let me enable login access policies. Go to that setup menu, go to the option login access policies. Login access policies. Select this option login access policies. Here it is indicating control which support organizations your users can log in into your account. Now Salesforce has given the option to two people. One is to your Salesforce administrator. Second one is to Salesforce.com support team. Only these two people will be having the authorization to log in into your account without knowing your credentials. Now I would like to grant the permission to my Salesforce administrator. So just you can able to select this checkbox enabled and make it save. That's it. It will do that operation. Now let's see. Now select this checkbox enabled. Click on save. This complete navigation I have given in your material. In your material, step-by-step navigation I have given along with the screenshots also. In your printed material book, in the PDF copy for all and people that can, this complete information is available. Now, so now here we are enabling this okay, administrator to log in into my Salesforce account. Now let's go to the users. Go to the users. Now tell me, did you found any new option over here? This is our actual users screen. Did you found anything new? Login option. So now here it has enabled an option called as login option. Whatever the users you have created, for those users it has given this option as login. Just you can click on login link directly, we can jump into the user account. It won't ask you to provide the password because as an administrator, you have that authorization, you have that rights to log in into any user account also. Now, in this case here, let's go to the user. I'm having this development user account. Click on login link. Directly you can jump into development user account. These options are available only for administrator, not from one user to another user. Okay, this login option is visible only to that administrator. Now let's see. Currently we have logged into development user account over here. Now here we can able to access the feature here, look into that user interface, check the problem here, what exactly the problem over here there, fix that issue, and once the issue got fixed, then you can come back from this user account. Okay, now. So now once you got fixed that issue, click on log out as development user. Once you click on log out as development user, the whole session has been logged out. It is asking me to log in into my Salesforce account over here as an administrator. It has come out from the development user along with my administrator account also automatically. It is asking me to log in into my administrator account. Now I would like to log in into my administrator account over here. But in this case, what I want to do is I have logged into the development user account. After fixing the issue, when I click on log out as development, it should come back to my administrator account as it is. Okay, it has to come back to my administrator account as it is. It should not force me to re-log in into my account again. It should come back to my administrator account. So now here in this case, let's see. In this case, we are going to be enabling a small option. Just you can go to that setup menu, go to the quick find box, search for the option session settings. Go to the option session settings. When you go to that session settings, you will be having a section called as settings section. Session settings section will be there. Inside that you will be having a small checkbox will be available. Force re-login after login as a user. Okay, force re-login after login as a user. There is a checkbox will be available. That means once a user administrator has logged into any user account, after performing the operation, when he click on log out, force him to re-login into the account over here. That's what there is a checkbox force re-login after login as a user. The checkbox is available. That is already selected by default here. Now what I want to do is I want to inform to the Salesforce, don't force to me to re-log in into my account. Please come to my administrator account as it is. For that one, just you can unselect the checkbox, save that settings over here. That's it. Simple. Just you can go to that session settings. Go to the session settings section here. We have a checkbox called as force relogin after login as a user. That means force this administrator to relogin into his account once he click on log out from that other user's account. Now just you can unselect this checkbox and select the checkbox force login as a user. Now click on save button. That's it. Done. You no need to do any other settings. Just to go to the user accounts now. Now I'm logging into development user account. Click on log into the development user account now. Now, I have logged into development user account here. This is the user development. So once you are done with this performing the operations, once you got fixed these issues, then we can able to log out from this user account. When I click on this log out as development user, it should come back to my administrator account as it is. Click on log out as development user. It is coming back to your user account, administrator account as it is. Now, when I click on this manager user here, click on this login link. Now I'm jumping into manager user account. Once you are done with these operations, then click on log out as user manager. Once you click on this log out option, it will come back to your administrator account as it is. Like that here, all the users also we can test. Testing user. I would like to log in into testing user account over here. Click on login to testing user account. Now it will be jumping into the testing user account over here. Once you are done with performing certain operations, click on log out option. It will come back to your administrator account as it is over. Like that here, we no need to log in into these user accounts by using his credentials separately. Just we can enable login access policies. We can jump into the user account directly over. Okay, understood the concept now? This is how administrator can log in into any user account and he can able to fix or he can able to troubleshoot the issues and then he can fix those problems as well. Okay, understood the concept here? The user no need to give any permission. Administrator is having that rights, he can directly jump into the user account over here. Okay, now in this case here you can raise a question. Sir, if administrator person is having the rights to log in into my account, suppose for example today I'm in leave or I'm in vacation, then in this case today administrator has logged into my account by click on login option and then he can do some malfunctioning in my application also. Okay, now in this case here, Salesforce people are very clever so that they have given one more option also here that is called as audit setup trials. So now, if the administrators are having this kind of rights, then there are some chances administrator can log in into the other people's account. They can do some malfunctionings also. They can delete some records also. They can do some other modifications also. For that reason, Salesforce has given a feature called as audit setup trials. Through this audit setup trials, Salesforce will be tracking that whenever the administrator is logging into your account, when he logged in, when he logged out from your account, everything will be tracking the Salesforce. Those tracking entries cannot be removable. Those will be fixed always. Even though you are an administrator, you can't delete those entries. Those entries are always fixed, like as your bank transactions. Once you are done with the bank transactions, those are transaction entries just you can see. You can't modify, you can't delete those transaction entries. Like the similar way, here also, whenever the user is logged in into the application or account, then automatically it will track those information over here. Now, in this case, let's see. We can check the option audit setup trials. View setup audit trial. Now here it will be tracking that information. When the administrator has logged into this user account, when they have logged out everything here. It is indicating this information also. Now on so and so date on so and so time. That means on 1st of February, okay, 5:41:32 p.m. That means 5 hours, 41 minutes, 32 seconds. Okay. Now the administrator has logged in. This is the administrator account. See, this is the account in which he has logged in. This is the user logged into the application over here. It is tracking this information. Logged in using login as access for development user here. Now he is the administrator, training account 377. Now this user has logged into the development user account by using this login as option. When he logged out, it is tracking this information. He logged out from 5:42 p.m. That means what? Almost, okay, he has accessed the application for 28 seconds. For 28 seconds, he has accessed this application. In this 28 seconds, he did some malfunctioning over here. These entries are always fixed. These entries cannot be removable, cannot be editable also. Okay. Now, no chance to do the malfunctioning by the administrators also. Clear? Now, understood the concept here? Next. The next one. The last option here as part of user management. Because these are all this option, whatever the option that I have explained yesterday and today, these are all our responsibilities as an administrator. As an administrators, it's our roles and responsibilities every day we need to perform. Okay, now let's see. The last option is login history. What do you mean by this login history? I think this option already showed you in our starting sessions. Now, what do you mean by login history? Login history is going to be tracking who are all the people are accessing this particular account. Whatever the Salesforce organization that we have, this organization is accessing by whom? which users are accessing the Salesforce organization, when they have logged in, from which location they have logged in, at what date and what time they have logged in, how they have logged into the application, what is the system's IP address, which browser they are using, which operating system they are using, which version of browser they are using that, and then the system's IP address information also, whether the login is successful or not, from which state they are accessing, which country they are accessing, which city they are accessing, what is the location, that locations, okay, the latitude value, longitude values, everything will be tracking by Salesforce. So in this case here, it will be indicating this information. When the users has logged in, the whole information will be tracking by Salesforce automatically by default over here. We can able to see all this information also. These are all are the various of people who logged into your Salesforce account over here. Okay, whatever the Salesforce organization that we have, okay, all the people, that means the people who are logged into the Salesforce account, all those people's entries will be available in this particular location over here. Okay, understood the concept here? Now this particular place is very, very important here. Because of this place, so many people lost their opportunities also. That means they lose their jobs also. Okay, this is one of the most powerful area that we have in Salesforce. Okay, now, so now here in this case, let's see. So in this case, it will be tracking all this information over here. Okay, it will be tracking all this information here. Now, let me explain one small general scenario here. Now, so in this case, suppose for example, assume that I'm done with my course. Okay, I'm done with my course, admin, development, lighting, and everything. Now I have given some interviews, I got a job. Now, in my profile, I have added 3 years of experience. Because after my education, I have 3 years of gap. Or I have worked in some other technologies also. I have worked in some non-technical domain also previously. So now those 3 years I'm adding as a Salesforce experience. With this experience, I have given the interviews. I got selected in a company. I got a job. Now, so now once I have been joined into the company, from there the project manager is allocating a project. I'm working on the project over here. Since last 3 months, I'm working on the project. As of now, they have given some small tasks to me. So now I'm able to manage those tasks. I have completed all the tasks on time. So today he has given a complex requirement. Today he has given a complex requirement to me. I'm working on those requirements here. They have given 2 days of time, today and tomorrow. They have given 2 days of time to complete the requirement. I have started working on the requirement. But in the middle of the development, I have stuck up. I'm not getting any idea how to implement this feature. I'm not getting any idea. I don't know how to implement that also because it's a bit complex. So now in this kind of situation, I have verified in the Google also, no solution over here. Now this is the first time I'm working on this kind of task. So now, by tomorrow at any cost, I need to complete this requirement. But I'm not getting any idea how to do this. Then what can I do? How can we implement this? What can I do here? I don't have any friends who is working on Salesforce. Now in that case, I will be contacting community people also here. We are having developer community. In that community also, I have posted that information. Somebody has given some reply, they have given some steps, but I'm unable to use those steps. I'm unable to implement those steps also because it's a bit typical task. Now in this case, finally I have decided that I would like to contact a proxy person. Okay, I would like to take the help of a proxy people. Now assume that through some of my friends, I have collected a contact number of a proxy person. Assume that he is a proxy person. So now he is from Pune. Okay, he is from Pune here. He is a Salesforce technical guy. He is working on the project since last 6 years. He is a more technical guy. He is having good experience on Salesforce. Now I have contacted this person. I have explained my situation. This is what the requirement. I need to complete by tomorrow here. Are you able to help me out or not? If you're ready to complete this task for me, I'm ready to pay some amount over here. He said that he is going to charge 10,000 rupees to complete this task. I'm ready to pay because I want to save my job. So in this case, once he's ready to work on this job, work on this requirement, he has to log in into my account, right? Yes. He needs to log in into my account. In order to log in into my account, I have to share my credentials to this person. I have to share my access. I have to share my credentials to this user. In this case, whenever I'm sharing my credentials to the person, he will log in into my Salesforce account. From where? From Pune. Okay, from Pune. Okay, from Pune, he will be logging into my Salesforce account. In this login history, it will be tracking that. It will be showing my username, date and time also, system's IP address. His system IP address will be tracking over here. It will be showing all the details. It will be indicating this information also. Now, let me show. In this information, it will be giving the details of that location. From which location he is accessing this application from Pune. Now, it will be tracking the information here. Country will be India, and this is also India. Subdivision will be Maharashtra. City will be Pune. Is a postal code. Is a location's latitude, longitude value here. Okay. So today morning it is 7 o'clock here. That means here assume that today night at 10 o'clock over here. 10 o'clock he logged into my account over here. In the night, okay, he has completed the requirement. Okay, in the night he has completed the requirement here. By early morning 6 o'clock he has completed the requirement. So now here, morning at 8 o'clock I came to the office. I have logged into my account from which location? Hyderabad. So now in this case here, now tell me how it is possible to travel from Pune to Hyderabad within 4 hours or 3 hours? Is it possible? No. Now, in this case here, morning till 6 o'clock, it is tracking that Pune's okay location. Morning at 8 o'clock, it is tracking like as Hyderabad account over here, Hyderabad location. How it is possible? That means what? Administrator person will be getting this confirmation that somebody is working on behalf of me. I'm taking the proxy people's help. So in this case, next day you will be getting an email from HR. We are relieving from the project. Okay, this is the problem. So for that one, whenever if you really need this, any help, don't share your account credentials to anybody else. Okay, because whenever the proxy person log in into your account, it will be tracking that person's details also, his system's IP address also, location also, geographical coordinates, everything will be tracking. Okay, that is the problem. Okay, we can take the help of those people, but don't share your account credentials to anybody else. Okay, clear? Now, now in this case here, if you really need any help, then I will give you one small suggestion over here. Now, but I should not disclose this one. Maybe it will help you. In that case, don't share your account credentials to the people. Just you can log in into your Salesforce account with your credentials as it is here. Give your complete system access to the person over here. Give your complete system access to the person over here. Now, just you can able to use this one here, like as some go-to meetings and all these things over here. You will be having this access over here. Now, in this one, it will be indicating this. Now, here we are going to be indicating the people who are logged into our session today. All the people names will be possible visible over here. Now, we can able to select the person over here. We can able to grant the permission. Then, suppose for example, if I'm selecting this particular person over here, Geeta, whenever I'm selecting this Geeta, then Geeta can able to control my system from his location, from her location. Just I can sit idle here. That means I will be acting like as I'm working on that, but on behalf of me, somebody is controlling my system over here. Okay, this is the option. In that case, it will track your location, it will track your credentials only, not the other people's credentials. Okay, so now this is one of the option that we can use. Suppose in your company, if this is also black, then we can't help you. Okay, clear? But don't share your account credentials to anybody else. Now, because of that, you will be losing your jobs also. Okay, so these are the various options are available as part of okay user management. Okay, now Next one. Next one, role hierarchy. Role hierarchy. So what do you mean by role hierarchy? What is the use? How can we set up the role hierarchy in Salesforce? And how can we assign the roles to the users? Whenever we are assigning the roles to the users, how many roles that we can assign to the user? And what is the benefit of assigning roles to the user? We can now, let's see with the practical. Now, come to a small scenario so that you can understand very easily. For example, we have an organization like some TCS. We have TCS company. In TCS, they're having almost more than 2 lakhs employees are there. So more than 2 lakhs employees are working in TCS. So these people are working in different locations for different clients and different projects and different technologies. Now, so even though he may be working on any location, any project, any client, each employee is having some designation, right? Yes. Depends upon his experience, depends upon his technical skills. Each employee is having his own designations. Now, in TCS, they're having some list of designations are available. They have some group of designations are available which they're allocating to their employees depends upon their past experience, depends upon their technical skills. Now, like for example, they have the designation of CEO. Now, the CEO designation is a top level designation in the organization. So now, the CEO of the company or the founder may be having this designation CEO. Under this CEO, they will be having a designation CFO, Chief Financial Officer. He is taking care of financial aspects of the organization. And then they will be having the designation COO, Chief Operating Officer, and they will be having the designation of CTO, Chief Technology Officer. Now, this designation is going to be taking care of technical aspects of that organization. That means the projects and the project deliverables that will be taken care by the CTO. Under this CTO, they will be having the designation of Vice President. Under this Vice President, they will be having the designation of Program Manager. Under this Program Manager, they will be having Project Managers. Under this Project Manager, they will be having Technical Leads. Under this Technical Leads, they will be having some junior employees are also available here. Like they will be having Senior Software Engineers, and Associated Software Engineers also. These are the various designations. This is the hierarchy they used to maintain. Okay, this is the hierarchy they used to maintain. But in this case, the same hierarchy will not be available in every company. Company to company, business to business, client to client, organization to organization, their designations may be different. Here we are having software engineer, senior software engineer, associated software engineer like that. When you go to few companies, they will be having that designations are different. Like as okay, associate consultant, consultant, senior consultant, principal consultant, like that they will be having different designations. So these designations are keep on changing from company to company. This hierarchy also keep on changing from organization to organization. Okay, now So now here in this case, assume that in TCS, these are the hierarchies of designations they have. They're having this CEO. Under the CEO, they're having this three people over here: CFO, COO, CTO. These three people are reporting to CEO. That's what here we are having that the same hierarchy. These three people are in the same hierarchy. They're reporting to the same person, CEO. In this case, CEO is a superior. These three people are subordinates here. These three people are subordinates. Now these three people are in the same generation here. That means in the same hierarchy. So we can call them as siblings. Generally, siblings in the sense what in our families, siblings in the sense brothers and sisters who are in the same generation, those will be called as okay siblings. Okay, cousin brothers also, cousin sisters also, we're calling them as okay siblings. Okay, because they are into same generation over here. Like the similar way, these three people are in the same hierarchy, same generation, we can able to call them as siblings. Next, under this is CTO, we have a subordinate that is vice president. Under this vice president, we have a subordinate project manager. Under the project manager, we have program project manager. Under the project manager, we are having technical leads. Under the technical leads, we are having the remaining people. The junior members, senior team members will be available. This is the hierarchy they used to maintain. Now, each designation will have certain roles and responsibilities. Project manager is having his own responsibilities, and the technical lead is having his own responsibilities. Software engineer having his own responsibilities. Senior software engineer is having his own responsibilities. So each designation will be giving some set of roles and responsibilities here. Okay, now let's come to a small scenario. Assume that I'm a software engineer here. Assume that myself I'm a software engineer. Now I'm reporting to my technical lead. Assume that he is my technical lead over here. Every day, my technical lead is assigning some tasks to me to complete those tasks. As a junior member, it's my responsibility. I need to work on those tasks. I have to update the status to my technical lead. Because as a technical lead, he should be aware of what's going on in his team. Because he's responsible to the project deliverables to the project manager. So in this case, he would like to know how much percentage of the work has been completed, how much percentage of the work is pending, and then when we can complete that pending task, what is the action plan for that, he need to take care of over here. For that reason, he should know what's going on in his team. So in this case, every day he is assigning some task to me. I'm working on the task. I'm sending the email notification to my technical lead, okay, in order to update the progress of my work. Now, suppose for example, today he has given 5 requirements to me to complete by today end of the day. So now I have completed all the requirements over here. I sit for some till late night, okay, till almost some 10 o'clock. Usually my office time will be completing by 7 o'clock. But I sit for till okay 3 more hours additionally till 10 o'clock. I have completed all the 5 requirements. I came back to my home. But I did a mistake here that I did not send the email to my technical lead. I'm done with all the requirements over here. I have completed, but I forgot to send the email notification to my technical lead regarding the status of my task. In this case, if I'm not sending any email, then how my technical lead will know what is the progress of my work? Now he has to know how much percentage of the work has been completed, how much percentage is pending, what is the action plan to do this one here. He need to be aware of. For that reason here, if I'm not sending the email notification to my technical lead, in the late night, he will be giving a call to me to update that status here, to collect the status. So in the midnight, it may be 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So now he will be making a call to me to collect the update of my work. Then I need to give this information. Because directly, he can't monitor the progress of my work over here. Directly, he can't monitor the progress of my work. Now, in this case here, as part of Salesforce, they have given a feature called as role hierarchy. They have given a feature called as role hierarchy. So what this role hierarchy will do? Now, basically, role hierarchy is used to make subordinates records to be visible to the manager automatically. That means whatever the designations that we have in our company, these the designations we are allocating to the employees. Like the similar way, whatever the way designations we have in our company, similar passion we can configure the roles also. We can configure roles in our Salesforce, or these roles we can assign to our users. Whatever the users we have configured, to those users we can assign the roles also. Whenever we are assigning the roles to the user, a user should be always associated with only one role. A user should be always associated with one role. That means user to license, one to one relation, user to profile, one to one relation, user to role, one to one relation here. Okay, now simple concept here. Now for example, we have the designation some CTO. Now this designation we can assign to, okay, an employee here. That means here we have an employee, for example, some Ram. For this employee, how many designations we can assign? Only one. Okay. For one employee, we can assign only one designation here. The same designation we can assign to how many employees? Multiple also here. For example, I'm having software engineer designation. Now tell me, I will be the only person with the designation software engineer? No, so many people will be there. So now for me, only one designation. But the same designation we can assign to multiple employees also. Like the similar way, each user should be associated with only one role, but the same role we can assign to multiple people as well. That facility is available. Now, in this case, whatever the way we are configuring this, okay, roles or the designations in our company, similar passion we can able to configure the roles also in Salesforce. Once the role hierarchy has been configured, depends upon the business requirement, depends upon the organization requirement or the client requirement, we can configure the role hierarchy, and these roles we can assign to the users. So each user should be associated with only one role, but the same role we can assign to multiple users as well. Now, so in this case, you can raise a question, sir, what is the benefit of assigning the roles? What is the use of this role hierarchy? Basically, role hierarchy will make subordinates records to be visible to the manager by default. For example, whenever a software engineer person has created a record, the record will be visible to his manager automatically by default over here. Okay, that means here what happened here, your manager will be having the full controlling on you. Your manager can able to monitor your progress. You no need to send any email notification to him. Directly he can able to monitor the progress of each and every employee. Okay, so for that reason Salesforce has given this a feature, role hierarchy. Okay, so role hierarchy will make subordinates records to be visible to that manager automatically by default here. Only records will be visible. So now, in this case here, you can raise a question. Sir, we have profiles, we have roles. What is the difference between a profile and a role? What is the difference between profile and a role?
Profile is a collection of permissions.
Right. Hmm.
Role is designation.
Hmm. Role is for what? Profile is for what? No, it's not the designation. Generally, it's a normal okay designation as part of sales. What is the use of this role? Role hierarchy will make the subordinates records to be visible to manager. That means my records will be visible to my manager. That means we can able to grant the permissions on records. But when coming to the profile is for what? To grant the permissions on what? Hmm.
Tabs, apps,
Right,
objects.
right. Okay, application. Profile is used to grant the permissions on applications, tabs, and the objects, and the fields, and the records, and the features, everything. But role will be granting the permissions on only one thing, that is records. Not applications, not objects, not fields, nothing. Okay? Understand the concept here? Now, in this case, now when coming to the user, a user should be associated with only one profile, a user should be associated with only one. Okay? There is a second difference. Third one, whenever we are creating a user, profile is mandatory or optional? Mandatory. Role is mandatory or optional? Optional. Okay?
Optional.
Now this is the third difference over here. Role is not mandatory, but the profile is mandatory over here. because it's 100% common question in most of the interviews. Difference between profile and the role. It's a common question everywhere. Okay. Now, so there are two questions are available. Okay, from these two, any one of the question is mandatory. It's a common question that will be the first question in every interview. These two questions are, the first one is difference between role and profile. Second one, difference between lookup and master detail. These are the two questions. From these two questions, any one of the question will be the first question in every interview, even though you may be fresher or experienced. Okay, difference between role and profile, or difference between lookup and master detail associations. Okay, now, so now here in this case here, let's see. As part of my Salesforce org, as part of my Salesforce org. So now when coming to the roles, role hierarchy is used to make subordinates records to be visible to the manager. Whenever the subordinate person creates a record, the record will be visible to the manager automatically by default. The facility is available as part of role hierarchy. Now, in Salesforce, by default, Salesforce is providing a role hierarchy. Salesforce has
Excuse me,
given a
sir.
default role hierarchy which
Sir,
we can use as part of our
sir.
application requirement over here. In that case, if the existing role hierarchy is not at all suitable, then we can able to build our own role hierarchy from the scratch. If the existing role hierarchies require some little bit changes, then you can make those changes whatever you want. If this is not at all suitable, then we can able to configure your own role hierarchy from the scratch, and we can assign these roles to the users. Then, in this case, how can we configure this role hierarchy? Now, let's see with the practical. So whatever the roles you are going to configure in your Salesforce org, all the roles information will store inside the user role object. User role is a standard object in Salesforce which contains all the roles information. Like whatever the way we are having the designations, okay, the similar fashion we can configure the role hierarchy. Those roles information will store inside user role object. In this case, now software engineer designation role will be assigning to, that means related to technical lead role. This role is reporting to this role. This role is reporting to this role. That means one role is associated with another role in that. Now tell me, this kind of association is called as what? Hierarchical relationship, right?
Hierarchy.
That already told you here. Hierarchical relationship can be applicable or between two objects, user and user role object. Here also we are mapping the relation from one role to another role over here. In that case, all this roles information will store inside the user role object, which is having hierarchical association with this. Then, how can we configure the roles? How to assign these roles to the users? Now, let's see with the practical. Okay? Now, make a note of this one. Role hierarchy. Role hierarchy is used to make
Sir,
the subordinates records to be visible to the manager by default. Madam, just give me 2 minutes. I will come back. Now, role hierarchy is used to make the subordinates records to be visible to the manager by default. That is, when the subordinate person creates a record, then it will get visible to the manager automatically by default. By using role hierarchy, the manager can monitor the progress or performance of each individual organization RT. Now, role hierarchy will just grant the permissions. It grants the permissions and the records. Records. Now, Salesforce provides the default role hierarchy. Default role hierarchy, which we can customize, which can be customizable based on the need. And we can create our own custom role hierarchy based on the requirement. Once the role hierarchy has been configured, then we can assign the roles to the users. Note, the user should be always associated only one role, but a role can be assigned to one or more users in the organization. All the roles information will get resides inside the user role object. Tell me, madam, what is your question?
Why the role is not mandatory, sir? Because that without SC, the program how he was done the work
Sorry?
details to transfer to the SSE.
Now, in this case, let's see. So now basically the role is not mandatory because once the person has joined the company also, then we can assign the role to the people, depends upon the needs.
Hmm.
Okay, so that here role is not mandatory, profile will be mandatory. That means we need to grant the permissions over here and then we can configure the roles and then we can assign the roles to the people.
Okay.
Now let's see, in this case, click on setup menu, search for the option roles, click on setup roles button, configure the role hierarchy based on the need, and then assign the roles to the users. For example, I would like to configure the role hierarchy like this. This is the role hierarchy I would like to configure. Then up to this part. Okay. Done with this? Now. And how can we set up this role hierarchy? Now let me show you. Done everyone? So let's go to your Salesforce R, search for the option roles. Click on roles. Now it is indicating some small picture over here which is indicating how role hierarchy will look like. Now it is having the CEO role person. Below the CEO role we have three people: Western Sales Director, Eastern Sales Director, International Sales Director. Three people are available. Under these three people, we are having three more people again. Under Western Sales Director, we have Western Sales Representative. Under Eastern Sales Director, we have Eastern Sales Representative. Under International Sales Director, we have International Sales Representative. These are the various people are available. Now, that means one role is reporting to another role, this role is reporting to another role, but all the roles will be available inside the user role object. Now, let's see. Click on Setup Roles button. This is the default role hierarchy configured by Salesforce. It is giving our organization name. Okay, it is giving our organization name. Upon creating the Salesforce account, in the registration form, whatever the company name that you have mentioned, that company name will be populated. Suppose if you want to change this name, just you can go to the company profile, click on edit button, change your organization name. That new name will be reflecting here automatically by default. Now, it is giving this a CEO role over here. Now, just you can expand this button. There is a small plus icon is available. Just you can expand this. Now, it is giving this a role. These are the roles over here which has been given by Salesforce. It will be looking like as a tree structure. Now, so now we have CEO role. Under the CEO, we have CFO and the COO and the Senior Vice President for Customer Service and Support, SVP for HR, and SVP for Sales and Marketing here. These are the various roles are available over here. When you observe this each role will be having this of 5 options. Now we can add an above role over here. For example, in your company, on top of CEO, if you're having one more role, then we can add that role also. Below the CEO, if you want to add one more role, then we can use this add role option. Suppose if you want to change the role name itself, then we can click on edit option to change the role name. If you don't want this role at all, then use this delete option. If you want to assign this role to the users, then use this option, assign option. These are the 5 options are available for each role. We can add a top level role and the sub level role also. We can modify the role name, we can delete the role name, and we can assign the roles to the required users. So these are the 5 options are available for each and every role. Now let's see. As part of my requirement, I want CEO role. CEO role is already given by Salesforce over here. This role is already available over here. Now we have this role already here. Now this role is already there. We have this CEO role. And below this CEO, we have CFO role also here. This role also available. We have COO role also available as it is. Now I want CTO role, but we don't have over here. I would like to add a CTO role here. Under the CTO role, I would like to add Vice President role over here. Clear? Now let's see how can we add this role. Let's see. Come to your Salesforce R. Go to the CEO role. Under the CEO, we need to add that role. Click on Add Role. I want to add the role with the name CTO. This is the role name. This role is reporting to whom? CEO. That means CTO role is reporting to CEO over here. That means hierarchical relation. In the reports, what is the name you want to show? In the reports also, I would like to show like a same CTO. If you want to configure some reports, in that reports instead of CTO, if you want to show some name, then we can represent over here. But I don't want to show the different name. I want to show the same name. Click on Save button. Now a new role has been configured. Now done. Go to the roles button. Click on Setup Roles. Click on Setup Roles button. Now we can see the roles. Under the CEO, we are having CTO also. Under this CTO, we need to add Vice President. So go to the CTO role over here. Under this CTO, I would like to add one more role. So click on this Add Role option. Now click on Add Role. Now I would like to add a role with the name Vice President. Now I'm adding this role now with the name Vice President. Now this role is reporting to whom? CTO. Now, in the reports also, I would like to show the role name as Vice President. Save. Click on Save. Now this role also will be getting configured over here. Go to that roles. Click on Setup Roles button. Now we can see. Under this CTO, just you can expand it. You will be having this role Vice President. We have CEO role. Under the CEO, we have these three roles are available. Under this CTO, we have Vice President role is available. It depends upon the requirement. We can configure these roles. Okay. Now, once the roles has been configured, these roles we can assign to the users. How to assign these roles to the users? Now, let's see. Now, just you can go to that CEO role, click on Assign Link, assign the roles to the users. Now, I want to assign the roles like this. The CEO role, I want to assign to the training batch user. Because CEO will be the top level person, administrator. Training batch user means administrator here. He is the top level person. CFO role, I would like to assign to manager user. COO role, I would like to assign to customer user. CTO role, I would like to assign to development user. And this vice president role, I would like to assign to testing user. These are the users to whom I would like to assign the roles over here. Okay? Now, then how do we know for which user which role has been assigned? Just you can go to that users. See, here we have a section here. There is a column. There is a roles column is available here. Have we assigned any roles to these users as of now? No, we haven't assigned any roles over here. Now I would like to assign the roles to these users. Now go to the CEO role, click on Assign Link. Select the user to whom you want to assign training batch user. Select the training batch user, click on Save button. Done. Next, CFO role. Click on Assign to whom you want to assign CFO manager user. Select this manager user, click on save. COO role, click on assign link. I'm assigning to customer user, make it save. CTO role, I want to assign to development user, click on save. Last one, vice president role, I want to assign to testing user. I would like to assign. So now we are assigning this roles information to the users. Suppose, for example, in CEO role, or suppose, for example, some CFO role, who are all the users are available, how can we check it out? Because the same role we can assign to multiple people also. I have assigned this role to 100 users. I want the list of those people. In that case, just you can go to the role name. Click on this COO role name here. Click on any role name here. Once you click on role name, it will list out the role details over here. This is a role name. This role is reporting to whom? CEO here. When you come down, it will give you that list of users. Users in COO role. To whom this role has been assigned, all the list of people names will be populating over here. Okay, we no need to search manually here. Just you can go to the role name. When you go to the role details, it will be populating the table. In the table, it will list out all the people's information to whom this role has been assigned. Okay, this is how we can able to configure the role hierarchy in Salesforce, and we can assign the roles to the users also. Clear up to this one? Now, from now onwards, whenever the subordinate person is creating a record will be visible to the manager automatically by default here. Clear? Now, let's see. Go to the users, verify for which users which roles has been assigned. But for one user, only one role. Please remember the point here. A user should be associated with only one role, one license, one profile, not multiple. See, these are all the roles we have assigned to each and every user. Okay, this is the concept of role hierarchy in Salesforce. We can configure, we can assign the roles. Okay, now, so now here in this case, how can we restrict the visibility of the features by using a feature called as OWD? Now we'll see in tomorrow's session over here. In tomorrow's session, we'll see the concept of one more feature, the most important feature of Salesforce, that is OWD. Organization-wide defaults. Then what exactly OWD, what it indicates, what are the various OWD actions are available in Salesforce, what is the significance of each and every OWD action, we'll see one by one. Okay, clear? So do the
Sir,
practice up to this one here. Configure the users, set up the role hierarchy, assign the roles to the users. In tomorrow's session, we'll see how can we go with this OWD action, how to assign this OWD actions to the objects, what is the functionality of OWD, we'll see one by one. Okay?
sir, hierarchical relationship, will it come in any other concepts of Salesforce?
No, that will be between users, between roles.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Sir,
Thanks for
can
the
you
time.
explain again that